Well, we're cutting it a little close tonight, aren't we? Oh, I am so sorry, guys. You know what? Daylight savings time got me. When I listed this one 5 days ago, I had not yet remembered about daylight savings time. So, yeah, it would have ended with an hour and something to go, but as it was, it ended with a couple of minutes to go. That's always fun, isn't it? But we made it. That's what's important. Before we actually start ripping, I do have some information to go over, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with that while everybody's getting in and getting settled. So, feedback. My feedback is completely automated on eBay. Anytime you leave positive feedback for me, you are instantly going to get the same in return, and that way you don't ever have to wait on me. And of course, far more importantly, there is a big thank you. Always appreciate you being here, bidding, breaking, chatting, and hanging out with me. This is a look at what's coming up in the days ahead. So tomorrow night, we're doing an all memorabilia night. 3 autograph game changers, baseballs, a blah, 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 a Leaf autograph baseball jersey, a TriStar actual football, like a regulation kind of size football, and a couple of Leaf autograph multi-sport jerseys where the spots are sold by the first letter of the last name and listed in the football category. On Wednesday night, it's a new release night. We'll start at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. We're going to be opening Impeccable Basketball by the full case and Contenders Optic Football by the master case. It's going to consist of 2 10-box inner cases, but they are not from the same master case. So one 10-box inner case is coming from one place, one 10-box inner case is coming from another place. That's how we're getting our 20-box quantity, 2 sealed 10-box inners, which is how it always is, except usually they come from the same master case. So there you go. Thursday night, Encased Football by the full case. Friday night, we'll do Contenders Optic again. And on Saturday, we'll start back with Donruss Baseball with a half case break of it. That's what the days ahead look like for tonight. What you need to know. We are opening, of course, a half case of Heritage. I'm expecting it to be out the door and on the way to you approximately Friday. If I can get it out to you sooner than that, I certainly will. But, man, we've been breaking a lot of Heritage and Donruss Baseball and things that take a long time to sort and ship. So I'm not sure I can get it before Friday. But if I can, I will. Otherwise, plan on that. I mean, it could always go to Saturday if something unexpected happens, but right now I'm hopeful it will be Friday. This is a 6-box half case of 2020 Heritage Baseball. It's break number 4, the back half of a case we started a couple of nights ago. This ended tonight on eBay Monday night, the 9th of March, same night that we are breaking it. Team names on the left-hand side, winning bidders, user ID across from each team there on the opposite side. And thank goodness, tonight is the only night where I got kind of whammied by daylight savings time because I remembered it starting the next night. So all the others should end normally. It was just tonight where we ended so close to the break, and I apologize again for that. So you probably noticed right there your background got a little blurry. That is intentional, so please do not be distressed by that. We're going to be able to see what we need to see without any problems. Now, Heritage Baseball. So the back half of a case that we already started, so we don't have to take them out and number them at some point somewhere on here. Yeah, they're on the opposite side. We had already done that when we opened up the case so that we would know which ones to open. We used random.org. So this is what is left out of that. I'm going to go ahead and set a few little sleeves on the table. Bear with me here for a second. So what we're looking for, 1 autograph card or relic, either or, in each box. And there'll be some other things that we'll find too, including a box loader, probably some parallels and or short prints as we go along through here. There's a lot of base, as you probably know, so we're going to go pretty quickly through most of the base and not waste a whole lot of time on it. It does all ship in this break, but we're just not going to spend a ton of time on it. So this one is a super baseball card box loader. It is of Eloy Jimenez for the Chicago White Sox. So that's our nice little super baseball box loader there this evening, going to the White Sox. If I remember correctly, and I would not swear to this, but I don't think that we hit our hot box in the first half of this case. And if I'm right, and we didn't, then obviously we should find one in the back half. I mean, I would assume that we will. I don't think we hit it in the first half of this. If Jay Allen or somebody's on here, they would probably remember. I see so much of it between the breaking and the sorting. I sometimes can't remember what came out of which break, you know. Now, most of these boxes are going to have some kind of a variation in here that is a short print. Generally speaking, that will be an image variation. Very rarely, it might be something else, like the team name in silver, or a throwback jersey, which is extremely rare, or an error card, which again is not super common, and they're usually little minor errors that you kind of would have to know that it is there. So the most common short print variation is the action image variation. Now I'm going to try, of course, to catch those as we go through live. But realistically, there probably are going to be some that I don't see as we go through live. If that happens to be the case and you notice it and I don't, please feel free. Jump in there and flag it down to me in chat and we will go back and find it. Ditto if you happen to see me scoot past an autograph. I did that once in one of the early cases. Of course, this particular card set has the facsimile autograph, the printed autographs on all the cards, and sometimes, you know what, I just don't see one. It goes sailing right by, and then I either have to go back and look for it or one of you points it out. So if that, of course, again, if you see one go by and I haven't stopped on it, jump in there and let me know, please. Oh yeah, missing facsimile signature. Missing signature is another variation that is possible in this set. Now, it's not super, super likely that we would pull it, but it definitely is a possibility of something that can be pulled. That and throwback jersey and a few of the others are a little more difficult to hit. New Age performers, there are not a ton of those inserts, but we'll find a handful of them before we get done tonight. You'll notice that I'm probably going to flip a few of them over. That's because occasionally one might look to me like, hey, that could be an image variation. And very handily so, this year they actually printed on the back of the card. Instead of us having to try to look and find those little tiny codes, instead it will actually say the word on the back, action or whatever the variation is. So that's why occasionally if I see one I'm not sure about, you're going to see me flip it over to try and determine, hey, is that one or not one? For some reason, some of these just look so much like they should be this year that I keep stopping on them. It's like the same ones every time, and I keep stopping on them and then can't find it. But anyway, hopefully it'll make its presence felt. Hi, Brandon. This is the back half of the case of Heritage Baseball. It ended tonight on eBay just a few minutes ago. So I think that would be break number 4. Isn't that right, guys? I think it is. Back half of a case is usually an even number. So I'm going to say yes, that it probably is number 4. We're going to find several cards that have multiple teams on them like this one does. And what you need to know about that is it's all going to set up there in a special little area that I call housekeeping. It's going to set up there all night long. And then at the very end of the night, we will use random.org and find a home for that. There'll be several different ones. Then and Now is another example, of course, of a card that has more than one team on the same card. What else do we need to talk about? Flashbacks. There are flashbacks that are not baseball related. In other words, they don't have a baseball player on them. Just be like news headlines and that sort of thing. And if, in fact, we find some of those tonight, and I expect that we will, They will also go up to random.org, and we will give those out to one team at the very end of the break. That's how that's going to work. And this is our action image variation from box number 1. It heads to the Rockies, and it is Nolan Arenado. And for some reason, I don't know what in the world is going on with my iPad. Is going nuts over here, and it keeps... I don't know what it's doing. It's like, it's getting a little crazy over there. But anyway, it's trying to play like another video besides this break. And of course, I need it to play this break so that I can watch it as well and make sure that that it doesn't go offline, and so I can see chat and all that. But I don't know, I somehow must have hit it and it decided, hey, I'm gonna change the channel for you. A Clubhouse Collection relic. That's our hit out of this box, and it looks like it is headed to the Brewers with Christian Yelich for our nice little hit in here. And of course, we already saw our short print, our action image variation. So now we've just got to look through and see if there's any other interesting treasures waiting for us in here. Hopefully. So this is one of the flashbacks I was talking about that doesn't have anything to do with a baseball team or a baseball player. So again, it's going to hang out up there in housekeeping along with our other wayward little cards, and we'll find them a home at the end of the night. All right, so there is a box number 1 locked and loaded. Empty box. Another thing that we can have as a box topper is what we have here. It is an actual 1971 Topps baseball card that Topps has bought back from somewhere, added a little foil stamp to update it, and put it in here. That's the foil stamp. So you can see the corners, the edges, there's lots of chipping, they're rounded, they are very well loved. It is off-center, it is miscut. That's the way they mostly were in 1971. But that is, of course, just a little bonus for us there as the box loader. So it's kind of meant, I think, more to be fun than to be valuable. So yeah, they usually look a little rough. But that one was for the Kansas City Royals. And there is still a third type of box loader that we haven't seen yet in this break. It's called Greatest Moments. And it's kind of a long strip as well, but it is a horizontal image. So they're nice looking too. We'll probably find one before we get finished with this break, I would imagine. I do think there's a new Leaf Baseball release coming out this week called Lumber Kings, and we are going to have a little bit of that, not much though. I didn't order much at all. It's a kind of a new product. I'm not really sure. I'm going to go ahead and grab that. I'm not really sure what to make of it quite yet. And obviously we're not breaking it right away on Friday because you never know with Leaf. They change their schedule a lot, and they have been known in the past to sometimes not even announce a schedule change until the day before the product is supposed to arrive, or the day the product is supposed to arrive. So I'm gonna, we'll break that sometime next week instead, just to be on the safe side, I think. One of those better safe than sorry, right? So more of our league leaders and things, of which there will be many. Then and now. Of course, there are a lot of World Series highlights in here. So the Astros And the Nationals always get tons of cards in this set. The Yankees get quite a lot as well. Here's our hit coming out fairly early from this box. It is an autograph, and it's headed to the Pirates for Bryan Reynolds. So we are, at the moment, one autograph and one relic as far as our hits go. I know we found at least one autograph in the first half of the case, and we might have found two. I really can't remember for certain. But in general, I think you'll find in Heritage we usually will hit around 3 autographs per case. It's not guaranteed that to be equally, to be 3 autographs and the rest relics every case, but just my personal experience is that's often how it falls. Every once in a while you might get one more or one less, but often it's going to fall like that. And if we do go past something, which is entirely possible, that as I mentioned at the start, that there's a short print or something that I don't catch an insert. We don't see a lot of those, but with the white background, but we will find a few. And so, of course, if I miss something going through live, not to worry, all the cards ship. I do go back and double check everything before it goes out the door when I'm sorting it, to make sure that we've got everything. And I think in each break that we've done so far, I think I have found at least one after the fact that we just didn't catch live. Short prints are typically 1 per box in general. Again, that's not a thing that like Topps guarantees and says, oh yeah, that's definitely what you're going to have. That's just what we usually find. So if we don't see it passing through the first time, then hopefully I'm going to find it when I sort, which has been the case thus far anyway. There's another League Leaders. Always loads of those. Every once in a while there might be a rookie short print too. Usually the rookies are on a shared card that look like that, as a matter of fact. And sometimes they'll take the rookies out from that and they'll get their own individual card, and those are considered action image variations, even though they're usually portraits of the person standing there. If it is a rookie that has been split out, it is usually considered that, like right here. Speak of the devil, we conjured that up, didn't we? So Nico Hornerer for the Cubbies is our action image variation for a rookie. Those don't come out nearly as often as the veteran do, so truly we kind of conjured that one up, I think, talking about it. So it's good news if you got the Cubbies. Nice little Nico image variation to help out your haul a little bit tonight anyway. So I think everybody's kind of waiting and wondering how much this coronavirus stuff is going to impact baseball. So far, the only thing they've really done is make a change. Well, 2 things, I guess. One is a spring training thing where they're kind of telling guys, hey, you probably shouldn't be high-fiving, shaking hands, signing autographs, and that kind of stuff. So our box loader here is another original 1971 card. Like the other one, loads of chipping. Edges and corners are worn and rounded, terribly off-center, terribly miscut. That one goes to the Indians with your 1971 rookie stars. So that's one change, is a lot of people who, of course, like to make those pilgrimages to see the spring training games, and generally players are pretty accessible. You can get a lot of autographs and high fives and things like that, if you want to head that way. But they are not doing that much this year. Hardly any players are signing. The Major League Baseball is advising them not to, which is smart, I guess, under the circumstances. And then the other thing that they announced today for, I got to think about this. It was baseball and hockey and basketball. Doesn't apply to football right now. Obviously, they're not in season. But there was another sport. Can't think what it was. At any rate, they are going to close the clubhouses. So no reporters, no media, no outside personnel. It's going to be players and essential personnel only allowed in the locker room for the foreseeable future. Of course, some sporting events have been canceled, both domestically and abroad. A tennis tournament got canceled, as a matter of fact, out in California. One of the big early season tennis tournaments got canceled today. But as of right now, they're still going to let fans in. Now, there's been talk about, hey, playing some of these games with empty arenas or empty stadiums, and I don't know if it'll come to that or not, but I know we've had people speaking out. An owner spoke out and said, hey, we don't want to play these games. An NBA owner, I think it was the Rockets, we don't want to play these games in empty arenas. And LeBron James said, hey, if I come out and there's no fans, I'm not playing. He's like, that's who I play for, the fans. Of course, I'm thinking, you probably pay for those hundreds of millions of dollars that you're paid too, but we won't talk about that. We'll just leave it like it is. Sure, man, you play only for the fans. Which he does, of course, but yeah. I mean, you are also making a lot of money there, bud. So I don't know how it's going to, no one knows how it's going to impact baseball, if they're going to carry onward or if they're going to say empty stadiums or some other proposal, or maybe it will run its course here in a few weeks, but it kind of isn't looking like it, is it? Of course, NCAA tournament coming up. Man, I don't know. I would be afraid to get into that. I mean, that's a lot of people from everywhere. If you want to talk about a place where you would be likely to run across somebody who might be able to transmit it, man, it seems like it would be in a big crowd like that, doesn't it? And that's the bad thing. People can have it and not even know that they have it. Before they even feel sick or have symptoms or anything. I think that's part of what makes it so crazy to figure out what to do with it. So it'll be interesting to find out how baseball decides to approach it, but they're going to have to figure out what they're going to do soon, I guess. It would seem like, hey, Gil, what's happening? How are you tonight? Anything interesting happening in your neck of the woods? Another nice action image variation. This one is Fernando Tatis Jr. with the Rookie Cup on it and the action variation. So having pretty good luck tonight with our SPs out of Heritage. Making life good here for a few people. Some of those short prints are worth some good money, so depends, as always, on the player and the particular card, but there's definitely money to be made there. And here is our hit for this box. Jose Ramirez Clubhouse Collection Relic. So the Indians taking one home. Means the rest of the way through here we're either going to be base or inserts. We've seen our SP, we've seen our hit. So the rest of it is going to be base and the occasional insert. Oh, right, our Chrome cards. This is the first one we've seen tonight. I forgot to talk about them earlier. I knew I left something out. So we have a couple of possibilities. This, what I would call base chrome card, those are numbered to 999. We may also find some silver parallel chrome cards. And if we find those, they are numbered to 571. And if we do indeed have the hot box in this half of the case, we would also find a bunch of purple chrome parallels. That's what the hot box has in it. They're not numbered, but that's the only place you get those purple chrome parallels is in a hot box. So they're kind of fun to get too, so hopefully we're going to have that. Uh-oh, hang on. How'd these two guys get left up there? DeShields and Bodie. Now we got them. Two little base cards just hanging out up there by themselves. Christian Yelich got his big deal signed a few days ago, of course. Everybody kind of thought it was going to be $200 million. It fell just short of that, but not by much. I want to say it was $188 million or thereabouts. Okay, we have the Washington Senators. Same deal, guys. An original 1971 card. Lots of chipping, edge wear, rounded corners, well loved. Maybe even some light creasing sometimes on those corners. So the Washington Senators, there were multiple versions of the Senators. One version became the Rangers, and the other version became the Twins. The 1971 version, which of course is what that card would be, I believe that round of the Washington Senators is the one that became the Twins. I will verify that, of course, before I send it out. But I want to say we were the Rangers up into the 60s, and then there was a little break, and then when the franchise came back and became it was a new franchise that became the Washington Senators a second time, actually, technically, I think a third time. That, I believe, is the one that is the current Twins. And the earlier one, I think, was the Rangers. But I will verify that before I send it out, and that Senators card will go to whichever team the 1971 Senators became, which I do believe is the Twins. And this appears to be our hot box. I can see a lot of flashy little chrome edges. So once per pack in here, we're going to find a purple chrome parallel. And again, those are not numbered, but this is the only place you get them, is in the Heritage hot box. So that does give them a little sense of scarcity, I guess, even though they're not numbered. They're not hard to find, but they're not nearly as plentiful as our other cards in this set. So, for whatever that might be worth. All right, let's get cracking here. See what we have got in here. Xander Bogaerts is our first purple parallel. I'll flip the first one just for the purposes of you knowing what or demonstrating that I was telling you the truth, and it is not numbered. Next one is Nolan Arenado for the Rockies. Oh, some of these, I don't know why I keep flipping some of these, because I think they look like they would be action image variations, some of them, don't they? Rookie Stars Indians insert. Marte for the Diamondbacks. I mean, they definitely do. Like, that looks like an action image variation. That obviously does not. But at least half of them aren't. Scherzer for the Nationals. Oh, that's that's both Orioles on there. I set that up there as if it were two different teams, but it's not. Goldie for the Cardinals. Hey, Betsy. You said you're feeling hot, hot, hot. Yeah, I tell you what, we are in the midst of our lovely little hot box, Kepler and the Twins. But I'm glad you came by to say hey. It's a Bo Bichette insert. Scott Kingery purple. See, I almost flipped Jorge there, and then I was like, oh yeah, right, that's not an image variation. Brian Reynolds and the Pirates. It only takes me about 500 times of flipping it before I figure it out. And they just try to mess with me on some of these base card images. The Indians and Clevenger. Acuna for the Braves. So how'd your day go today, Betsy? What's going on with you? What interesting things happened in your world today? Walker Buehler, Dodgers. That was Kansas City Royals. Verlander. The one thing I can say is that it has been an interesting day. Mike Trout and the Angels. So we've had, of course, so much stuff going on around here. It's like I can't seem to quite get caught up. But it does lead to some George Springer and the Astros. Some long days of sorting, but it can be kind of fun too. Matt Chapman and the A's, because you get to look at a lot of cards in a short period of time. Which is what we did today. I was busting it today, trying to get a lot out. And Devers for the Red Sox. Actually after the pickup, Cubs, rookies. I still even had another group of stuff that I got done before the last post office in town closed. That was Will Smith for the Dodgers. So we have only one that stays open late, and it does stay open until 7, but I've got to drive to it. So usually I just send out what goes out with my pickup, and then anything else I get done later that day just goes out the next day. But today, Paddock and the Padres, I just decided that I was going to drive it over there and get extra stuff out today. So that is what we did. Braves and Max Fried. But there was nobody in the post office. So this goes back to what I was saying, that it's kind of interesting. Like everybody's freaking out about being out in public spaces. And generally, the post office has lines out the door, that particular branch. To 571, that's a base chrome for the Pirates and Josh Bell. Or at the very least, maybe 10, 12 people in there. Contreras and the Cubbies. But when I went in to drop this stuff off, there was only one other person, one, in the whole place that was a customer. And all the clerks were like in the back hanging out and chatting. I've never seen that in that particular post office ever. Urshela and the Yankees Clubhouse Collection Relic. Castillo for the Reds with our hot box purple parallel. A flashback. This was an AL-NL, and we will have to use random for that too. Benintendi, Red Sox. And you know what I did not see? Our little SP. So bear with me for a second. I'm going to try to look real quickly through the back, on the back of these, and see if I can see if there was one. I mean, it's possible that I missed it. It's also possible that because it was a hot box, they didn't give us one and just gave us purple parallels. But I'm just going to kind of double check it. So if you'll hang tight here for 1 minute, please. I am going to try and check this out as reasonably quickly as I can. Just if it's here, I'd like to find it. And again, I'll go through them all after the break. When I'm sorting them, I will look them all over again as well. But if I could find it now, it would make me happiest. If it's here, that is. Well, don't see it yet. Got a couple more to look at, though. Oh, I'm trying to think if we had one in the other case where we came across the hot box with the purples. Oh, there it is. I did go right past it. See there? That's why I wanted to go back and look, because it's a good one. It's going to make somebody quite happy. Because it's the Bo Bichette SP for Toronto. Yeah, so I'm glad I went back to find it. So there you go. That was the one. So we've now had 2 of our rookie SPs come out of here, because Nico came out that way as well. So not too bad tonight on the SPs. Betsy, you're waiting on a couple of half-case Donruss breaks with the White Sox. Still haven't hit Robert. That is not cool. I'm sorry about that. Betsy is asking if this is what I do full-time. These days it is. It is a full-time job these days. There is not much time to get other things done. Sometimes I don't even think I have time to feed people. Of course, I do stop and feed them because, yeah, well, you have to. But there are days when I just think, yeah, I don't even have time to feed you guys. But we get it all done eventually, that's for sure. Shohei Ohtani for the Angels. That is the greatest moments box loader that I was talking about earlier. It's the first one of those we've seen tonight that is the greatest moments. Betsy, you said nobody in line and it still took an hour. Yeah, thankfully it did not take me an hour. And now if they had to run all my packages, it would take way more than an hour. But of course I get all my labels printed here before I take them and drop them off, or before they're picked up, as the case may be. I usually have quite a lot of stuff going out every day, so typically they stop here in the afternoons. Even though they deliver my mail in the mornings, they usually, when they're finishing up and on their way back to the office, they'll stop and do my pickup, because I always have so much stuff. Every once in a while, they'll forget about me, though. Not very often, fortunately, but occasionally they skip me. And then you don't realize it, because there's a couple of people that when they run the route, they don't get here till really late. So I'm just thinking, oh, it's that person on the route. And then the next thing you know, whoops, nope. Nobody comes. So, doesn't happen very often, though. And if I know early enough, of course, I would just run it on up there myself. But sometimes you don't know early enough. And then there have been times I've given it up and taken it up there. And then I'll get home, and 10 minutes later, somebody will knock on the door and go, hey, where's your pickup? Oh, man. I gave up on you. I took it up there. So this is box number 5, by the way. So we are 4 down, 2 remaining, including the one that we are looking at right now as part of the 2 remaining. Another flashback that is a headline type thing, not a baseball type thing. I wonder what minor league players would do if they did decide to shut down baseball for a couple of weeks. I mean, they would have to, I think, keep paying those guys, right? Because, I mean, the minor leaguers, they don't make hardly any money to begin with. And if you tried to take part of their season where you didn't pay them, I think that would be really bad. I mean, the major league guys wouldn't love it, but they could wait it out. But the minor league guys, I don't know if they all could. Probably be a real financial hardship for many of them. Rizzo and the Cubbies Clubhouse Collection Relic. That's our hit here in box number 5. Still looking to see if we've got a short print, and there it is with Chris Bryant and the Cubs. So the Cubs have netted 2 of our action image variations tonight. 2 out of 5. Not too bad if you're the Cubs. They are getting on with it tonight. But hey, I figure that we can do card breaks no matter what. So even if coronavirus hits here or somewhere, you know what? We can just stay right here. We just stay right inside and just keep breaking. The Yankees, that is numbered to 571. Aaron Judge with the silver chrome insert. But that's why I ordered in all the extra supplies, because they're all made in China anyway, so at some point they're going to run out of them, because they had, when their stockpile is depleted, the replenishment orders clearly will be delayed, since China was shut down for a period of time and still isn't kind of what I'd call completely up to capacity, and we're probably still not really completely up to capacity of allowing imports in either. So yeah, I ordered a ton of stuff. Ton. Betsy, yes, we've had 1 autograph in this half. I couldn't remember, or you might remember, out of the first half, did we hit 1 or did we hit 2? I know we hit at least 1. I can't remember if we hit the second one. I was telling everyone earlier that generally we've been finding about 3 autographs per case of Heritage. Now that's not a hard and fast rule. That's not Topps saying this is what you're always going to get in every case. It could be more, it could be less. But my experience so far this year has been roughly 3 per case. So that's why I was trying to remember how many we hit out of the first half. But truly, the short print of the Bo Bichette is probably worth as much, well, it's worth more than anything we've pulled autograph or relic-wise tonight. Would be my assessment of it. Those, for the hot rookies, those generally bring pretty good money. The Expos, so the former Montreal Expos are the current Washington Nationals. Same deal, guys. Well-loved edges and corners, maybe some minor creasing, lots and lots of chipping, wear, rounded, miscut, actually maybe even a little bit of a crease in through the card itself. So well-traveled there for the Expos, which former Expos, current Nationals, so that's where that goes. Yeah, Betsy, the throwback is almost the holy grail out of this set. It is really hard to pull, really, really hard to pull, and it is very sought after and one of the more expensive cards that you could hope to hit in here. If you were lucky enough to hit a throwback action, well, not action variation, a throwback image variation, a short print that is the throwback, I'll get it out in a minute, you would be in good luck, yeah. So that tells us what all the odds are. Let me see if I can, just out of curiosity, I want to see what it is. It's very, very high. And of course you can pull money in here too, but those are also very high. There's lots of stuff you can pull in here, but it's just hard to get. Let's see, where is it? All right, so the error ones, this is per pack. The error ones, which are also pretty rare, 1 in 8,013 packs. Throwback uniform, 1 in every 11,511 packs. So what are we talking about? 24 packs to a box. So, like what? Close to 300 packs in a case. So then you've got to consider 10,000 packs is, you know, divide that by whatever 24 times 12 is, and then take that and divide that into 3,000, tells you how many, one in how many cases you will find that. It is a lot, obviously. I mean, it's like one in probably every 40 or 50 cases. I'm really bad with math in my head if you can't tell, but it's a lot. Odds are very, very high of finding a throwback. Very, very high. Or the error card either. Red Sox and Benintendi numbered to 999, the base chrome version. So you said it is one in every 40 cases. All right, so I wasn't too far off considering I'm terrible with math in my head. I couldn't quickly calculate how many 10,500 and whatever packs equaled into cases, but but yeah. Ozzie and the Braves Clubhouse Collection Relic. So yes, if you were to hit a throwback, it would be worth more than pretty much any other hit you would get in that box, most likely. Unless you had a really special hit. And really the error versions probably are pretty strong too, because they're almost as hard to pull. They're one in every 8,000 some odd packs. And then, of course, there's the ones with the French text on them, and they're one in every, I don't know, 2,500 packs or so. So a little bit easier to get that one. The action, as we mentioned earlier, is the most common. The silver name, where the team is, color is replaced by silver instead. We've hit one of those. I don't know. Those are not as common, obviously, as the action, but not nearly as rare as throwback or the error. So somewhere in between is the silver one. And we have hit one of those. It was out of the first case. I'm looking on here to see if it's one out of every 265 packs. So, yeah. But we have only hit that once. That was out of the very first case. And I didn't even catch it live. I caught it after the fact when I was sorting. I was like, oh, hey, that's a silver name. Because it's hard. They just kind of blend in and you're looking for so many things. You're like, is there a nickname on it? Is the facsimile signature missing? Is the team name different? Is there an error on it? Is it an action image variation? And it's just so much to process at once for possible things on each card that, yeah, it's easy to miss them and then have to find them later when you are sorting. Gil, nothing but Heritage tonight. Yeah, I didn't want to do anything else tonight because, well, A, it takes a while to break this and get it wrapped, but B, I've got so much shipping left to do. I mean, it takes so incredibly much time to do Donruss Baseball in particular, and we've had a couple of breaks of that. And it takes a good long while to do Heritage, too. Not as long as it takes to do Donruss, but almost as long. So I just didn't want to go any further into the hole. That's another reason we're doing memorabilia only tomorrow night, so that we don't just keep piling on and piling on. We got to be able to get this stuff sorted and out the door at some point. Sooner rather than later is always the goal. But sometimes it takes longer than I would prefer, that's for sure. You guys are like, yeah, it takes longer than we would prefer, too. I know, I hear ya. I get ya. Oh, I listed that other Donruss tonight, Betsy. Just a little while ago. Listed it to end on Saturday. Yeah, so it's up and running. And it will be the start of a new case. So we'll be opening half of it again like we did before, but the start of a brand new case. I did not want to list it again until I had at least the first break sorted and shipped, which I got done today. And then the other one probably won't get done until Wednesday because I've got to do another heritage sort and ship tomorrow. And there's not enough hours in the day to get them both done. So, yeah. And then this one on the back side again. So, it will be heritage. Is that it? Yeah. So, it'll be heritage going out probably tomorrow. Then the following day will be Donruss again. And the day after that will be heritage again, which will be this one. The Phillies and Mr. Rhys Hoskins get our silver variation. Right as I was talking about how we haven't pulled hardly any, there is one. Silver, right there. See, it's hard to catch it, right? But I did catch that one, oddly, rarely. Rarely enough and oddly enough, but I did manage to catch that one, so yay. So counting the one that I had to go back and look for, but found when I did, we actually have them all present and accounted for tonight. So that is a good thing. We do have plenty of things that we're going to recap. But of course, before we get to our recapping, we do also have a lot of housekeeping tasks to take care of. So I think we'll do these flashback cards. Actually, you know what? We'll wait and do those last. Let's do this other stuff first. We've got quite a few things to use random.org to determine. So on these cards, they are American League, National League. We're going to go to random. I'm going to type in top and bottom. Super easy. Top, bottom. And I do random the same way every time. If we have 9 or fewer items in the list, which obviously we do here, I do random 3 different times. First 2 don't count. Only the third random makes the decision. And when we have 10 or more, we do random just once. But obviously fewer than 10 in everything we're doing tonight. But I'm just explaining how it works so you know going forward if there's a question, you know how we do it. We do it the same way every time. All right, so ignore the first one, ignore the second one. Here comes our third and final. There you'll see 3 times our date and time stamp. It's going to go to the team on the bottom of each of these cards. So I'm going to put the first one in a sleeve so that I can write on it. And that will be my indication to know what happens to it when it's time to sort it. So on the sleeve, of course, not on the card. So we're talking Reds, the Tigers, and the Tigers. If there are any more of those that accidentally got stacked in the main stacks instead of set out separate, it will go the same way to the team on the bottom. Now we're going to do the then and nows, and these are going to be entered in as left and right. Same format. We will do random 3 times, and the third random will be the determining factor. All right, ignore the first one. Well, if it'll go, that is. And we pay no attention to the second. Here's our third and final 3 times. Date and time stamp goes to the team on the left in this instance. Let's get, what did I do with it? There it is. Couldn't find my Sharpie there for a second. Okay, so that means we are looking at Cardinals, the A's, the Cardinals, Cubs, Pirates, Orioles, and Cubs again. So that is how the then and now cards have been sorted out. Next, we're going to do this little bad boy. It is top, bottom left, bottom center, bottom right. Oh, man. I thought I was clicked in the box, and I wasn't. I was just typing away. Okay, ignore the first one and the second one. Here comes our third one. 3 times date and time stamp gives it to the spot on the top. All right, so that means that we are looking at Nationals, Royals, Nationals. This will go in top, lower left, lower right. Okay, pay no attention to number 1, pay no attention to number 2, third and final coming at you 3 times. And our date and time stamp, and it tells us it is going to the team on the lower left corner of each of these. Well, all right, so that means Braves, Nationals, Astros, Reds, Yankees, Astros, the Mets, Diamondbacks, Red Sox, Astro, Red, Astro, Diamondback, National, Red, Diamondback, Astros, Mets, Braves, Nationals, Braves, Yankees, Reds, Astros, Braves, Mets, Diamondbacks, Astros, Braves, Red Sox. So that's how those are going to be awarded. Now we need to deal with this little group of cards. Bear with me, I'm going to get a bag I can put these in so I can write on the bag after we award them by way of random. So these are our flashbacks cards that do not have a baseball player or a baseball team on them. In this instance, we're going to copy all 30 teams from the spreadsheet and then paste them into random.org. Since we have more than 10 in this particular list, we will do random just the one time, and it will determine where that entire stack is going to go. It will go to one team, that whole little stack that we just looked at there. All right, I'm scrolling through so you can see all of our teams are in there. Good luck. Randomizing tells us it's going to the Cincinnati Reds. All right, so the Reds getting the little package of flashback cards here. Now, after we've taken care of all of our housekeeping tasks, we are in fact ready to recap. Imagine that. So our box loaders will come along first here. Several of them were the original 1971 cards. Expos go to Nationals. Again, guys, well-worn, well-loved. Creases, rounded corners, chipping, miscut, centered, all off-cut, mis-centered, all of them. The Senators, I believe the 1971 Senators is the version that became the Ranger or the Twins, but I'll make sure it could be either Twins or Rangers. It depends on which, because there was more than one version of the Senators, which one the 1971 Senators became, okay? The Indians come out next with a Rookie Stars box loader from 1971, and the Royals with a little Ed Kirkpatrick. We had a Greatest Moments box loader, Shohei Ohtani for the Angels, and one supersized baseball card, and that is Eloy Jimenez for the White Sox. So that takes you through all of the box loaders for tonight. Next up, we're going to look through our regular chrome. That is to $999 for the Red Sox. The silver ones are to $571. That was the Yankees, $571 for the Pirates, and $999 for the Astros. We were lucky enough to find ourselves in a hot box, so we have a whole load here of purple chrome parallels. They're not numbered, but they are unique to the hot box in the hobby version of Heritage. Red Sox, Reds, the Cubs. I feel like one is stuck to the back of him, only because it is. The Braves. Man, they all want to stick together in here. Padres, Dodgers, Cubs. Red Sox, A's, Astros, Angels, Astros, Royals, Dodgers. The Braves, the Indians, the Pirates, Phillies, Twins, Cardinals, Nationals, Diamondbacks, Red Sox, and the Rockies. And those are really trying hard to stick to one another. So if one happened to be suctioned to the back of another one, of course, I would find it when we're sorting and you will get it. Hopefully I caught them all going through, the ones that were suctioned onto the card in front of it, but just FYI. All the cards are shipping out of here. Okay, our SPs. We have the silver name variation, meaning the team name is in silver. It's Rhys Hoskins and the Phillies. Action image, Chris Bryant for the Cubs. Action image, Bo Bichette and the Blue Jays. Action Tatis for the Padres. Action Nico Horner for the Cubbies. And action Nolan Arenado for the Rockies. So a pair of rookies out of there. Nice SPs. Nice group. Relic, Ozzie Albies, Braves. Relic for the Cubs with Rizzo. Relic, Yankees, Gio Urshela. A relic for the Indians with Jose Ramirez. The Pirates had an autograph for Brian Reynolds. And a relic for the Brewers with Christian Yelich, whose new long-term deal of whatever it was, $188 million or so, is going to have him there for a while. All right, so that is the break tonight. That's the recap. I am going to put up the spreadsheet one final time so you can get another peek at your shipping information if you missed it earlier, and also what is coming up in the days ahead. So everybody pulled cards in here. We do not need to worry about consolation cards. Shipping-wise, I'm hopeful to have it out on Friday. If not, I would love to get it out before, but realistically, it may well be Friday. And, of course, as always, if something truly unexpected happens, it could slide a day later and be Saturday. But my hope and my expectation is that I can get it to you on Friday. Here's what it looks like in the days ahead. So tomorrow night is an entire night of memorabilia. We're going to do 3 TriStar Game Changers autographed baseballs, a 2020 Leaf autographed baseball jersey, a TriStar autographed football, one of the actual regulation footballs, and 2 Leaf autographed multi-sport jerseys. Spots are sold by the first letter of the last name, and they are all listed in the football category. On Wednesday night, we're going to start a hair early, 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. It's a new release night. We will break a full case of Impeccable Basketball and a full 20-box master case of Contenders Optic, which is 2 10-box inner cases from 2 different places. One 10-box inner from one place, another 10-box inner from the other place. On Thursday, it will be a full case of Encased Football. Friday is a full master case again of Contenders Optic Football. Saturday, we'll crack into a new case of Donruss Baseball and break an 8-box half case of that. And I believe that has got me wrapped up for tonight. So as always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. I hope that your week has been off to a good start. And if, maybe you'll come back and see me again. So come back anytime. Would love to have you. And I guess I'm done till tomorrow night. So we'll see you then. Bye now.